Brodes Media.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is sort of going to be a quick hitter based off of what happened last night with the Phils and the rain delay. Before we dive into the action, though, we are giving away a Bryce Harper jersey. That is correct. Over on Twitter, at Brodes Media, pinned to the top of the profile, it explains the rules. You have to retweet that tweet and follow the Brodes Media Twitter account, and the winner will be announced on August 18th. It's that simple. Also, if you're new to the channel, smash that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button as well. And with that being said, enjoy the show. What is going on, everyone? Welcome on into Sports Talk with Brodes. Last night was pretty disappointing because it seemed Aaron Nola was going to cruise through that Dodgers lineup, and we got robbed of that moment. And let's just look at it from an Aaron Nola perspective real quick. He has not been smooth, okay? He's been all over the map, and quite frankly, he's been horrendous more than he has been strong. He was mowing down a very lethal lineup. We understand that Justin Turner and Mookie Betts were not available, but the Dodgers are so stacked and they have so much freak talent that realistically, even without those two players, they still have an absurd lineup that will smash baseballs through the concourse. So it really doesn't matter that they weren't there. Aaron Nola's curveball had so much damn bite on it. It was absurd. He finished with 7 Ks in 4 innings, only allowed 1 hit. And here's the craziest part about that nasty curveball. 7 of his 9 batters he struck out, right? 6 on curveballs, all swinging. They had no idea how to figure that bad boy out. Now, here's the devil's advocate. Here's the other side. After 4 innings of play, maybe they do catch up to something. But sometimes, look, hitters are going to make adjustments, right? They're going to recognize that this is the tendency on this given night where Aaron Nola is falling into, okay, this is my pitch. But you could even see in the slow-mos, the way that he was coming down on those pitches, it was intensified by anything we've ever seen before, where Nola was making sure that these pitches had bite, that the movement was elite, that it was going where it needed to go. He was dialed in, and sometimes you could think you know what's going to happen when you're up at the plate and you're questioning what pitch is coming, but sort of like Zach Wheeler on Sunday afternoon, the pitcher could have it that day, and it's irrelevant what you feel he's going to throw. You might know, guess what, you're going to miss. And there was that sense, just by the delivery, by the tone, by the demeanor, that Aaron Nola was going to do that. We also, though, like, I'm looking at every angle here, right? I'm not trying to look negatively at Aaron Nola. I'm praising him because that was disgusting. That was arguably the best Aaron Nola we have seen all year long, and possibly the best Aaron Nola we have seen even if we date it back to last season as well. That was sharp. We've also seen, though, Aaron Nola give you a couple of nice innings and then fall apart. Command would go to hell, lose a couple battles, maybe the fastball, not what we need it to be, because that's been a huge issue for him over the recent stretch, that fastball command. It's so hard to operate other pitches when you can't go to your fastball. And one of the things Ricky Bowe mentioned when I had him on the Fanatic over the weekend, it's almost as if teams are sitting off speed on him because they know where that fastball is. He doesn't feel that he could dominate with the fastball. Therefore, he doesn't use it as much as he needs to use it, and he starts getting cute and fancy with the off speed. So when guys are sitting that way with Nola, knowing that he doesn't feel within himself that he's going to be able to deliver with it, it makes it that much easier. But look, I mean, yesterday was just ridiculous, and I'm so pissed off that the rain came out of nowhere and just basically annihilated what was going to be a phenomenal pitching duel. Max Scherzer, he went 3 1/3, allowed 3 hits and 6 Ks. It was your basic 2 dudes. We're going to go out there inning after inning after inning after inning, and who was going to make that one mistake? That's what it felt like was going to happen. Both guys would be ridiculous. One mistake, a hanging curveball or a mislocation with the fastball, one mistake. That would be the difference in the game, and we got robbed. It sucks. It really does suck, and I thought that killed a lot of momentum. The Phillies did not score any runs, so there is an element to this as we start attacking the decisions made by Joe Girardi when putting pitchers in the game. Their offense scored 0 runs, so it's hard to win a baseball game when that is the case. There was some moments. The one that sparks my brain the most was the 6th inning. 2 men on, 0 outs, and Bryce Harper up. And I'm not here crushing Bryce Harper. I'm just bringing it up. He had a couple pitches to hit big time. And he was just late. Just a tad off. Fouled them back. Lately, we would have been watching that ball go 400 plus feet. Just missed him. A little bit off for Bryce Harper on some of those. And they were left over the plate for him to smash. But unfortunately, a couple situations there, needed a timely hit, didn't get it. I'm not upset with the loss fully. It was a weird circumstance, a weird environment, and it's hard to prepare when you have a rain delay that's that long. And it felt the game was cruising, right? I'm looking at the clock. It's 8 o'clock. The game started at 7. Everyone's just getting mowed down for the most part, so things are grooving well. And I basically convinced myself, maybe there's a possibility I start recording the post-game podcast earlier than I thought, which is always a great feeling because sometimes I'm down here in the studio recording and it's 2 a.m., 1 a.m., and it's so damn late and I got 2 things to record for the night if there's 2 games and so much action going on. But that wasn't the case yesterday. At the 4th inning, I'm putting my feet up, all right. I'm hanging out with the dog. I was kicking back. And before I know it, here's a 2-hour, basically almost a 2-hour rain delay. By the time the game was over, and it was such a blowout by that point, it's like 1:30. I dozed off on the couch and woke up. Damn. Ricky Bo screaming. I dozed off around the 9th inning, so I made it pretty damn far. I saw Yovera get out of the 8th inning jam. He almost hit Albert Pujols in the face. Pujols didn't like it. Ended up getting rung up the bottom of the strike zone. He's bitching and complaining. It was close enough to call it a strike for sure. But I'm also guaranteeing that there's an element here where the blue behind the dish wanted to get the hell home. Then Trey Turner had a very upset situation, too, right after him, where here comes an off-speed pitch. He turns his shoulder because he thinks it's going to hit him. It was way off the plate inside, but maybe because he turned his shoulder, the umpire called it a strike, thinking it came back around and hit the corner of the strike zone, even though it wasn't even close. He ended up popping out, and there was bases loaded for the Dodgers to kind of blow it open even more. Not that it truly mattered, but how about Yovera coming in and accomplishing the goal? The bullpen decisions were bizarre. There's no doubt about it. When you come back out and you go to J.D. Hammer, who had success after Ranger Suarez the other day, that's not the move that really bothered me. I'm not telling you I have a boatload of confidence in J.D. Hammer because of one outing where he went 2 1/3 the other day, but it really starts with Matt Moore. And J.D. Hammer did allow a home run to Kyle Seager, who let it rip, and there was basically that. Did I say Kyle Seager? I meant Corey Seager. But yeah, with Matt Moore, I mean, you're telling me you're going to this journeyman who blows. Everybody knows Matt Moore is bad. And I don't want to hear that, well, he didn't really have many other options. No, you did. You did. You go with your, and I don't even love these guys. Like, I don't love Jose Alvarado. I'm not telling you I feel extremely confident in Jose Alvarado, who can't throw for strikes sometimes, and he puts a lot of players on the bases. But at least you're going out swinging, if you will, to use a way to describe what we're talking about here. You're basically swinging with a player in Jose Alvarado who at least can play in Major League Baseball. Matt Moore does not have a Major League Baseball repertoire, so you're waving the white flag going with him and the combination of De Los Santos. I don't want to hear that they were your only options. No, they weren't. No, they were not. You got to get a win. And at the time, it was a 1-run game. It was 1-0, and you basically said, we'll take the loss here, and we'll worry about another game in this series. That's pathetic. That's bad managing, and I really hate it. I really do. I really hate it. You have to find a way. You just had an off day on Monday, Joe. You just had a rested bullpen with an off day. Find a way to utilize Hector Neris, Alvarado, Archie Bradley, and if you blow games that way, okay, at least you actually made a decision that relates to Major League Baseball. Now you're making AAA decisions. It's bad. It's bad baseball by Joe Girardi, and I don't want to hear, because there are some defending him out there. And trust me, I like to look at all angles, right? So is there something to be said about where Falter or Connor Brogdon or Sam Coonrod or some of those players, Sir Anthony Dominguez, which is a name that keeps flirting around town, if they were there, would it be different? Yeah, obviously it would be different. But you have to manage with a sense of urgency. We've been screaming that for years now, right? Well, I don't know if that was the tone with Gabe Kapler, but for all this year, the lack of urgency by Joe and the front office with certain decisions. You are leading the National League East. You are winning the division. You're managing like it doesn't matter about this. If this game doesn't matter, who cares? Let's just take the loss. You don't have the luxury of doing that. You're not 20 games over 500. So you can't just be passing up chances to compete for a game. I hate it. I really do. I hate it. I hate that I have to see Rhys Hoskins go to the IL. It's very disappointing. It's nobody's fault. It's just disappointing because he's such a crucial bat. He's so important to this lineup, and he's been raking all season long. I remember a few years ago, I read an Athletic piece about him changing his entire stance. What ended up happening? He didn't even utilize anything that he talked about, and he went right back to his old stance, and he sucked. It was the most bizarre thing in the world. Now, it seemed he put that all behind him, and he's been very consistent. Absolutely very, very consistent. And it's just crazy and bonkers to me, though, that Joe Girardi and the way that he managed that game yesterday, it is really upsetting to me. But yeah, you miss Rhys Hoskins now. I was surprised by Didi Gregorius getting back in the lineup rather quickly after getting hit in the elbow. But he was back in there. And let's speak about defense real quick. So this is when the game was 0-0. It was the second inning. Made on first base, 1 out. Ronald Torreyes, this ball came flying back to him over at third base, picks it off beautifully, body perfectly where it needs to be, low to the ground, turns to. Alec Boehm doesn't make that play. You know what happens with Alec Boehm there? Ball goes into left field. Now it's first and second. It's 1 out with first and second. Like, that changed the game to me early on. If the game would have played out with Nola and Scherzer and it would have been no rain delay and it would have been a basic baseball game, that is a game-changing moment where Alec Boehm, and this goes back to, why are we worried about defensive replacements late in the game for Alec Boehm? I don't care if it happens in the second, in the fourth, in the seventh, in the ninth. Alec Boehm costing this team runs is going to be Alec Boehm costing this team runs and changing the game no matter what inning it is. You cannot continue to play Alec Boehm. Let me say that again. You cannot continue to play Alec Boehm. I don't care about Alec Boehm's feelings. This is Major League Baseball. I care about winning games. Ronald Torreyes is providing more for you offensively, may I add, and he's also providing an excellent glove in the field. He needs to be your everyday third baseman until he ends up falling flat on his face because he deserves it. Now you're out of the inning. Aaron Nola gives his appreciation tap, and Aaron Nola's pitch count is lower. Aaron Nola continues to strive. There's a huge domino effect that you have. Now you feel when you're Aaron Nola and you're making pitches, you feel your team has your back and has support. During the rain delay, Jim Salisbury, for the billionth time, I've seen all these things play right throughout the rain delay on NBC Sports Philadelphia. He was interviewing a man by the name of Cole Hamels. And one of the things he stressed was, I had no pressure. Because guess what? If I gave up a run, my offense was going to click. And guess what? If I made a play where there's a ground ball, I know J-Roll's got it. I know Utley's got it. I know my infield has my back. But when Aaron Nola sees Ronald Torreyes make that play, and now you're out of the inning in the second inning when there was a man on first with 1 out, guess what? I mean, it changes everything. It changes literally everything. Alec Boehm cannot continue to play. I'm sorry. And I don't care about who he is for the future. I don't care. I care about winning baseball games right now. It should not be about who he is for the future of this franchise. It should be about let's go. Let's go. We're winning the division. It doesn't seem like there's a sense of urgency, though, by the way that the manager is going about it, by the way the front office seems to be going about it. So we'll see how this team responds. Kyle Gibson on the bump today. I'm recording this the morning after. So that's where we are at there. Let's go to my friends over at DraftKings, shall we? Everyone's favorite time of the year is right around the corner, the college football season. To celebrate, DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is putting new players in the center of the action with $200 in free bets instantly. If you bet $1 or more on any college football game, take advantage of the limited time offer right now. So what you need to do is download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app and use promo code Brodes when you sign up. For $200 in free bets when you place a $1 bet on any college football game. That's promo code Brodes for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older, Pennsylvania only, new customers only. Restrictions apply. In partnership with Meadows Racetrack and Casino. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. We got a couple phone calls here from last night. I know the game ended super late, so why don't we play these? This is going to be more of like a quick hitter, with another game on tonight, but let's hear from the people.
Hey, Brodes, just a tough loss. I mean, I think it could have been a really good pitcher's duel if it weren't for the rain delay. I mean, maybe that's what kind of was a big effect on this loss. But then again, I mean, Scherzer was great too, so you can't really say it automatically means we would have won. But I don't understand that more. And then you look at Santos in this game. It's a 1-0 game. That more is an innings eater. I don't understand why he's in this game. Bradley, Neres, Alvarado, Kennedy. I mean, Kennedy's more of a not closer at least right now, but maybe it's not Joe Girardi, maybe something else. But he just at this point, it just seems like he's a bad manager. I don't understand the reasoning there. Thanks.
I don't know if look, we've been on him all season long, right? So there is an element here of him being underwhelming. But as we saw throughout the last 8 games, when players are in their specific roles, he's made the right decisions. It's basically the roles have been solidified when everyone's rocking the right way, and then he's pushing all the right buttons. It's when he's got to start thinking on his toes where he becomes a disaster. And guess what? That's a problem, though, right? If you're a manager that can't think on his toes, we got an issue here. And I guess, this is me speaking out loud and kind of walking through it because I've seen, okay, we know Hector Neris is more of a 6th, 7th inning guy. Plug him in there. Alvarado after. Okay, Archie Bradley, boom. And then you have Ian Kennedy, bang. There's your back end, right? Well, what happens when you have to start thinking on your toes? Joe seems to be doing nonsense. Well, that is going to crucify this team down the stretch. And I'll admit, look, did they absolutely 1,000% lose the game with that? No, they scored no runs. They scored 0 runs. There's probably a big difference, though, of keeping it a 1-0 game compared to now it's 4-0, now it's 5-0. Will Smith gets a hit. Max Muncy crushes one to the second deck over his own image that's being displayed on a scoreboard out there in right field. So, yeah, maybe there's an element, too, of think about being the JT Realmuto gif from when he's shaking his head and closing his eyes and basically recognizing, we're done here. This team's done. We're not going to win this game. Whether you like it or not, that's a thing. And maybe they realize De Los Santos, Matt Moore, they sense Joe Girardi's tone, which is we're waving the white flag, and then that snowballs into the way the players play the game. Whether that's right or wrong, fair or not, I can't rule that out of the equation of possibly being in the mix.
Well, bro, this game for the first 3 innings was beautiful. You had Max Scherzer pitching amazing. You had Aaron Nola pitching amazing. And the whole rain just absolutely changed the whole complexity of this game. It came into an hour 45-minute rain delay, and then it came into a bullpen game, which the Dodgers clearly have a better bullpen than the Phillies. The Phillies had a chance in the 6th inning when it was first and second, Bryce Harper up and JT, but they both struck out, and that was terrible. But it was tough loss, and the whole rain sucked, but hopefully they can win tomorrow with Kyle Gibson on the mound.
Yeah, I'm not crucifying them for the loss or criticizing them heavily for what happened. It is what it is. Unfortunate circumstances did come into play, and who knows what would have went down if Nola continued to go down his gem that he was. And I'll be honest with you, as great as Max Scherzer is, I almost give the advantage to where Aaron Nola was. The problem or the difference is I don't know if I could trust the longevity of Aaron Nola in the start based off of what I saw this year compared to how Max Scherzer composes himself as well. So there is a difference to it. And I kind of want to just bring up the bullpen ERAs, and this is just bullpen ERA for 2021 throughout all of Major League Baseball, because the caller did mention the Dodgers bullpen, the Phillies bullpen, and I want this to load, but it's causing me problems, and I'm getting frustrated, I'm getting annoyed, and I'm curling my toes, and that's what I do when I get upset, because there's no reason why, with 5 bars of Wi-Fi, that this should just not be loading right now, so maybe I'll try another page. Here we go. Statistics, MLB statistics. Bullpen ERA. Still not loading. Okay, quite frankly, I don't care enough. I don't care enough to wait for it to load. But yeah, so there's that. There's the game. 5-0 loss. We'll see how they bounce back. It's all about the adversity. It's all about the, how do you come together as a team and as a clubhouse when something like this happens. That's more of the watch, if you will, what we're watching for, what we're looking for. Not really losing this type of bizarre atmosphere game. Oh, here you go. It loaded. Did it load to the way I wanted it to? No. San Diego has the best ERA in the bullpen. Tampa Bay is the second best. San Francisco has the third best. Yeah, I want to see the Dodgers. And I'm not waiting any longer. So thank you all so much for listening to this episode of Sports Talk with Brodes, and I will see you next time.